Adam has arrived.
Hey. Maurice and Odie gonna take over like Zach and Cody. Black and Snerdy is the best podcast, gonna boom like Wile E. Coyote. Gonna make magic, they move like they hairy. Ain't talking about mental health, no it's not scary. And Odie she coming up with the astrology. Mo got a comic and that's the best policy. Maurice the GOAT, talking about animation cause you know Odie she moving way we like the boat. Watching some movies and she taking notes, yeah. Kick back, listen, Black and Snerdy have risen. Upload on a mission, 5 stars never dissing. Black and Snerdy, ooh, Black and Snerdy, yeah, Black and Snerdy.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Black and Snerdy podcast, the only podcast where two sexy black nerds get together and shoot the shit. I, of course, am Maurice, a.k.a. Kid Licorish, a.k.a. Kawaii as fuck.
And I'm Odie.
And together we are here for episode 112.
Peas and cream.
You need it because you know that I'm a fiend. Getting freaky in my limousine. Even better with ice cream. Know what I mean? Peaches and cream. Oh, man, 112. Are we going to have to get rid of 112? I mean, not because they did anything directly,
well,
but
I know
because
didn't one of them do something? Was that no? That was Jagged Edge.
Wait, what happened with Jagged Edge?
Not one of the main singers. One of the other guys in the band. Let me even look him up. His name.
No!
But a few years ago, this was several years ago. One of them, he beat up his girlfriend or his. I think she's either his girlfriend or his fiance or ex-fiance. And he punched her in the mouth and, like, tried to make her swallow her ring or something.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry, trigger warning. I mean, it's
hold on.
it was terrible. It was a few years ago. And
Warning.
I remember that happened, but it was one of the guys from Jagged Edge. It wasn't 112.
Okay.
It was actually, hold on. Maybe it was 112 because it was.
Because I had never even heard of this for Jagged Edge.
I feel like Jagged Edge might have had something going on, but no, it was 112 because it's the guy that I always thought looked like an ugly version of Q.
Ew.
It had to be.
That guy has a big forehead. Who is that?
No, why is it only four? Okay, whatever. There was one of the 90s male groups, because I'm not seeing, unless they're not showing.
At this point, they wouldn't bury anything. Like
No, they wouldn't.
And typing in abuse or something. All right.
But either way, there's a lot of, I mean, we're on 112 now, but there's a lot of band numbers that we can get to.
702, B2K, 3LW.
I want to do 702. You know,
I would like
girls
to.
Out from the front.
That's
back,
years from now, though. Who knows where we're gonna be at years from now?
Take my man, see, I don't need that. Don't play yourself. Did I ever tell you the funny story about that song? When
No.
that song came out.
No, what's
I
the
think
story?
that came out 98, 99. It was when we were like 9 or 9 or 10, and it was right around the time my dad was looking for a house, the house that we have in Long Island, and I remember so that the woman who was helping him, his real estate agent, I could tell she liked my dad, and I didn't like that. Okay,
You didn't like
I didn't
that?
like it because I was just like, aren't you supposed to be showing us houses? This is very unprofessional. Stop flirting with my father while you're supposed to be showing. You're not moving into this house with us.
I feel like a lot of like real estate agents have to like sort of bend.
They do,
and,
sure,
you
but
know,
she
cater
was
to whoever in order to get that check.
This is the thing. My father is a very charming man.
Yeah, he is. I'll give him that. He's pretty charming.
Do you like when I was a kid? I always thought about my dad and Eddie Murphy. Like any of Eddie Murphy's, like especially like Boomerang. Oh, that was my father. The high
Mr. Marcus.
the like executive in this all white place, but like killing it. Like he even had the Eddie Murphy mustache growing up.
I can't imagine your
He
dad
did.
with a mustache.
Listen,
like your brother looks a lot like your dad, and I look at him with like his wisp of a mustache that he's forming.
Yeah, no, my dad has
I'm
always.
Like, it just doesn't match your face. Your face. Some people have the face that screams clean shaven, just like at the wedding. The groom looks like his face like.
Shout out to Dana and Alton.
We went to a wedding this
was very fun.
This weekend. It was a lot of fun.
Beautiful
it was in
black
St.
love.
Louis. I can't help but say St. Louis because
Meet me in St. Louis.
But the S is there.
Meet me in
look,
St.
I have a
Louis.
long track record of fighting against silent letters.
You just like to
words.
be what is the word? Obstinate.
Yeah, I am obstinate. But to me, like, the silent letters are just cringeworthy to me. Like, there's like Kendrick
what's
said
the
it.
culture feeling?
That's not just me. That's what the culture feeling. Some shit's just cringeworthy. It didn't have to be deep, I guess.
Well, yes, so we did do that, and then, but yes, Alton was clean shaven, and it looks good on him. He looks like a little baby.
Yeah, he looks like a grown baby man. Did you have? I meant to ask you, how was that pizza? I know we had been drinking, so maybe this isn't like the best. Like,
No, I could tell. You listen, regardless of how much I've been drinking, I can always tell good.
How was the St. Louis pizza, Louis?
It tasted like Elio's pizza.
Elio's pizza?
That frozen pizza that they have at you can buy at the grocery store that they usually give you for like
and they
school.
do just put. Sorry, I'm looking at this picture of you with a face mask on, and honestly, now that looks cringeworthy. Like,
what was I supposed to do? It was one of those black face
it looks
masks.
like blackface.
Well, yeah, but you peel it off and it gets all the stuff out of your face.
It looks
All
like
the
the cover of the Story of Adeyemi for Drake. The only thing missing is the lips.
No, don't do me like that.
If I had access to that, I'd put that up on the video right now.
Look at the people on the.
Nah, he looks charming. Look at him with his legs crossed. That's a charming
if y'all
ass
can even
man.
see it. This is a picture of my mom and my dad, some point in the 80s. If y'all could even see it.
Yeah.
When they were, I feel like they. Oh, look at my mommy, my little twin, my big twin. She's much taller than I am.
She really is. She's a glamazon.
She is a glamazon. But like, look at him. He looks so much like my cousin Anthony, and Oni.
That's right. He
Yeah.
does.
Anthony has always been to me. I've always said that's his twin, and Oni, of course. But like you see, look at him looking like Eddie Murphy, ready to freaking.
He does look like he's
close
about
some
to
deals.
about to do that laugh.
Yeah, but that's what I used to always think about my dad. So that woman was definitely I even as a 8-9-year-old, I always peeped. Like I've always been very observant, especially with the adults around me, and I used to always tell when like, oh, I may not understand the intricacies of flirting, but I knew she was flirting with my dad. So I, of course, you know that I love to remix songs to whatever might be going on in my head.
Let me guess. It was like "Get Back" from my dad.
it was
back and
where my girl's at, from the front to back. You're feeling that? Put one hand up. Can you repeat that? Try to take my dad. See, I need that. Don't play yourself. I had a whole thing, and every time this song, of course,
That's adorable.
This was in the late '90s, so you know it was gonna come on the radio literally every 5 minutes. So whenever it come on, it was my opportunity, and I would be back in there in the back seat looking at Sade and she'd be like laughing at me because I'd be singing at it while the woman's
don't take my dad.
giggling at.
That's such a cute thing for like a kid to do.
Oh yeah, I'm never beating the daddy's girl allegations.
Yeah, no,
Never.
you really are. I mean, like we were. I can't tell the story, but like we
Why
were.
not?
Well, no,
What is it?
The story about your birthday.
Oh
and-
yeah, you can tell it.
Well, no, we were dancing together, and her dad comes, and I peep the dad before she does, and so I just get away like immediately.
Just
Like
back that
I
ass up,
slide
came
out the
on.
way, and then I push her out of my way.
Back That Ass Up came on.
Yeah.
So you already know what happens when that Negro
Yes,
spiritual comes on.
Yes, it really is.
It is.
Ooh, this is a dark thought, but imagine if like things go to Handmaid's Tale like things, and we have to like sing these some of these songs as like Negro spirituals, just like while we're working in the fields and shit.
Back that ass up.
Back that ass up. Back that ass up. Juveniles coming to tell me they not like us. They not like us. They not like us. Sometimes you gotta pop out and show me.
We're ridiculous. Anyway.
Yeah, yo.
Back That Ass Up was playing, and I ran out. Shout out to DJ Eno. I ran out to, obviously, I need to dance with that song. So I go back into the bar. Shout out to you, Market Bar. And so we're dancing. So DJ Eno, he spun it back because he saw like I was getting it. And so in the midst of the dancing, everybody's going crazy. I just thought because I was in my twerk bag that I was doing it. All right. I was getting that work.
Sorry, I was about to be mean.
And the next thing you know, like, because the crowd's going crazy, and then I look up and I just see
your friends,
my father walking down, and then I was summarily pushed.
You were thrusted into him, like thrusted towards him.
I was pushed off the person I was dancing with.
Yeah, just I was like, I'm not having any of this. Like, this is weird now. Get out of here. Like, go be with your dad.
But no, I was so grateful that my dad showed up.
Yeah, me too. I like it. You know what? I will say this. The last few years, I like it when our parents show up to our birthday things. Because, like, we're never too old to be our parents, like, you know,
kid. We're
little
always
twinkle in their eye and stuff. And, like, the fact that, like, we can't include them in all our birthday activities.
No, we cannot.
But we can include them enough so that, like my dad, not this past year, but last year, I threw a thing at my house. And he showed up. He was here with my nephew.
He's the life of the party.
He was until he wasn't. Because somebody said something that was very benign to me, but very like touchy to him.
You know, I think it's very interesting about your dad. Like, he's super chill.
It is super so chill. Weird. Like,
but he does have the points where he's like, "No, I don't like that." Like, I'm weird. It's like but I think it's the thing weird. Of like. When you are like a cool parent, sometimes people think like
so then nobody knows what your triggers are. Nobody knows what's gonna like. Excuse me, that's disrespectful. Like
in general, with my rule with parents and families in general is that I'm going to go at their pace and at their level, but I'm still gonna hold back a little bit because at the end of the day, like they're still parents.
Yeah,
and I don't want them to be. Excuse me, I don't want them to be feeling weird or awkward. So there's some things I
retreat into myself. Like,
and I don't know why. Parents love you.
Yeah, first off, parents love cool Mo.
Oh God.
And sorry that I don't have like a
drop for that.
A drop for that.
Take a shot. You mentioned the drops.
You mentioned a drop. I was gonna say, it's too bad I don't have a rolled up sleeve to go along with the acronym of what would it be? PL. Parents love PL cool M.
PLCL.
PLC. Yeah. PLCL.
Yeah. Well, I guess you could do cool because he does spell out the cool.
Cool liquor. Parents love cool licorish.
Yeah.
PLCL. Maybe that'll be the title. It was gonna be spirituals, but then PLCL. I don't know. It's in contention. We'll see.
But no, I appreciate meeting. I love meeting people's parents because I love being able to see people with their parents, with their siblings, like with their
Me too.
their folks. Because
And you're gonna get to see hang out with my mom's side of the family. You haven't had really a lot of chance to hang out with my mom's side of the family, like my dad and my dad's side.
Yeah.
But like not really with my mom's side.
Yeah.
So that'll be a nightmare.
That's why that's why I was glad we had the brunch for my birthday, because then you've never really got to spend time with my mom's side either.
You know what the funny thing is, I've spent time with most of those people, but under different circumstances. Like I spent time with your aunt and uncle who helped you move that one time, and I was very. It was particularly hot that day.
He was so stressed out for them.
And they are our elders, and I was just
he was like, "There's not enough seats. It's too hot."
Well, first off, I'm always gonna be concerned about there not being enough seats. Because I was concerned about that today when we went to Cass's thing. I was like, "Oh, they I was gonna compliment them. I was gonna be like, you have the perfect amount of seats for the perfect amount of people." Even though one of them was sitting on the floor, like
But they have a seat cushion.
They had a seat cushion for the floor, but even so, I thought one of the people should have given their seat up to the person who was on the floor. But
they like sitting on the floor. They were there before we got there, so they
and they were and Angela, what's her name? Angelica.
Yeah.
She was so nice. She was like, I remember I used to see y'all at Halyard. Y'all used to do comedy together. I was like, oh, way to make me feel
bad for not remembering your face.
Well, no, first off, if I had a nickel for every time someone said that they used to see me do comedy, I would have so many nickels.
Tamara came up to that one time.
Yeah, she did. Like way back when.
Yeah.
Way back when. What did they think? What did they think of me? Of my comedy.
They liked it.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's it. That's all. But yeah, we're getting in the weeds at this point. Should we do some pop topics?
Yeah.
Okay, let's hold on. Let me just change.
Oh, you know what I think the new drop should be?
So,
pop topics.
I just got a new.
I know, but I think we should do. Sometimes you gotta pop out and show Negroes, and then go pop topics.
Sometimes you gotta pop out and show. Would that work? Sometimes you gotta pop topics. No,
I already told you what it should be.
Sometimes you just gotta pop out and show people. Okay.
And then pop topics.
Okay, you know what? I'll think about that.
When you want a hot meal without a big deal, what are you gonna pick?
Pop topics. Okay, so where are we starting?
All right. So, number one, happy fucking Pride.
Happy Pride!
Today
do or die. Happy Pride
is the last day of Pride.
Yes, it's also New York Pride.
It's New York Pride. The parade was today. And I
didn't work today because apparently a bunch of shit went down at Pride. Like,
oh really?
Yeah, like at work. I'm not gonna go into it, but like I was looking at the work phone and seeing like some of the stuff that was happening. I was like, ooh, glad it wasn't me.
Well, since it's Pride, I was curious. What are your favorite? Do you have like 3? You could give more, but at least 3 favorite queer, either TV shows, characters, books, movies, music, film.
I got this.
Like, what in pop culture are your 3 faves?
I got this. Steven Universe. They're gay rocks, and I love it. 'Cause gay rocks. Yeah. Tuong Fu. Which I used to watch that with my mom. That was one of my mom's favorite movies. I want to say for a third one, just for the Rule of Three's Holiday Heart, but I don't like it. It's a sad movie.
It is sad,
and,
but
like,
it's good.
Ving Rhames as a gay man is is so fucking good, but it's so fucking sad. Alfred Woodard.
It was a good ass movie. We should watch that.
Alfred could get it anyhow. But we should. I mean, where is it? Like,
I don't know. But
it was like a TV movie.
It was
so
like
how
was it a BET? No, but it was like it was made with like a good budget. It wasn't just like a regular BET movie. All right, and why? So why did you pick those 3?
Okay. But no. Okay. Because it was gonna be Moonlight, but that's a little bit too sad for me.
But it could be sad. Listen, being queer.
So
there's a myriad of feelings and emotions that come with that. There's joy, there's sadness, there's love, there's passion. Like it's a multifaceted way of being.
So I chose Tu Wong Fu because, like, come on, you get the powerhouse of John Leguizamo, Patrick Swayze, and Wesley Snipes.
Yeah.
In a small town. Like bringing color and life into this town. When we watched it last year, I didn't realize there was a whole like abusive husband subplot. I the only thing I remembered was
Stalker
like
Channing.
the what?
Stalker Channing.
Stalker Channing. Stalker Channing?
It's stalkered.
Stalkered.
Hold on.
Anyhow, while you're looking that up, all I remembered was the Luis Guzman. Oh my goodness!
Robin Williams is in that movie too.
Robin Williams is in. Was it Robin Williams or Nathan Lane?
Both.
I'm thinking of Birdcage. My bad.
Birdcage.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I just love like the level of empowerment and acceptance that like, cause you go to these rural small towns and like the danger level is there. But like it helped me. It let me think that like see some of these small towns are like just super accepting. It was a lot like that one dude that we talked to in St. Louis, who just seemed like he was on the level. There was like a moment or two where he said some things I was like, uh-oh.
But even then, it wasn't like he was trying to be like an asshole. It was just like, I don't know.
He was just like, I don't know. And I was like, you know what? If you don't know, then show that you don't know. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with ignorance. There's absolutely nothing wrong with being a little ignorant.
Yeah.
It becomes when you're stubborn in your ignorance. Obviously, Steven Universe is the most saccharine, sweet fucking show in the world that like watching it gives you diabetes. And then Holiday Heart, that was like probably one of the first TV movies that I stumbled upon where I was like, it let me know that there's absolutely nothing wrong with like big tough men portraying themselves as like as showing that they have a softer feminine side.
Yeah.
Because even though I saw Tu Wong Fu, I was too young to like put it all together. But I was old enough that Holiday Heart, like I was like, that's Ving Rhames. That's the motherfucker from Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Like I know this guy and he is acting in this movie as a gay man. And you know what? He's doing a bang up job.
Yeah, he
did
a great job.
It was fucking amazing.
And to see, I mean, I would say the thing about Holiday Heart and Tu Wong Fu is like with Wesley Snipes and Ving Rhames, these were like quintessential tough black men,
and they were darker too.
Who embodied like masculinity. So both of them playing in these
John
parts,
Leguizamo is who I was thinking of. Sorry,
playing in these parts was really, I feel like to me, groundbreaking. Because they weren't shying away from telling these stories. And even though there is controversy about should straight people play queer roles, and I think that it's something where in thinking of them coming up in that time, these black men playing queer folk, like was definitely revolutionary, and I loved it.
Yeah. I think, okay, if representation is important, I think that there should be equal parts of gay men playing straight roles as much as there are straight men playing gay roles, so long as gay roles are still being played by gay actors. You know, it's not... I don't want it to be where gay men aren't getting, gay men and women and non-binary people aren't getting roles at all. Like I think that they should be getting roles too. But I do think that like if they fit the part, like straight people should be if they're capable. Yes. Like none of this like exaggerated flamboyancy just for like shock value or just for the like
what they used to do in the 90s.
Yeah, what they used to like basically every black comedian who dressed in drag or who portrayed a gay man in the 90s was just a little bit too...
Well, I will say as
my friend, who I won't say her name, used to say they used to portray them as having a little bit too much sugar in the Kool-Aid.
You know which movie I would say
And I'll tell you who the friend
a
was later.
great representation of gay black men in life? Bernie Mac and what's his name?
Bernie Mac.
Bernie Mac, and remember because he
in life. Oh,
wasn't Bernie Mac and the guy, or was Bernie Mac supposed to be have a mental handicap?
No, I don't think. No, Bernie Mac definitely. It's
I
been a while. When was the last time I saw?
We watched
live?
it like
we watched it not recently.
It was like
but
last year. We watched it.
Sometime
Because I remember
ago.
we watched it. Maybe it was the summertime. But damn, it's that actor we know him. Hold on. It was. Are we sure that Bernie Mac was not gay in that movie? Because Miguel A. Nunez, aka Biscuit, he's the one who.
Yeah, he was in Joanna Man, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yes.
Well, he was the quintessential Joanna Man.
Yeah, but in the movie in life, it's like he was one of the gay men in the prison, and nobody treated them weird or anything. They just treated them like everybody else. But the part that to me was it was a beautiful and heartbreaking moment in the film is
Didn't Bernie Man cry for her?
Bernie Mac was his boyfriend, and Miguel's character Biscuit. He finally gets his release date. Yeah, and he's like, I can't go home like this, and whether or not he was queer before, he knew he was queer before he came to jail, or that he came out while he was in jail and he was allowed that freedom. But he said, I cannot go home to my family like this, because that movie was set in it was Prohibition time. So 1930s, 40s.
Oh my goodness, such a sad movie.
And you think about being a black man so they came to the jail in 1932. So thinking say this was maybe 10 years after they'd been there, he was supposed to come out and go to his family in his out queer self. No, he would have been having to.
We should watch that. Probably not tonight, but
we should watch that this week for Pride.
Yeah, for Pride over.
It's time for him to go out. He just walks out past the security, and they knew if you walk past the security, you're gonna get a shot. And he was like, that's how he found his way out, which was it to me was a great. They did it perfectly, of a great commentary on what life could be for him, what life could be in this way, but also just showing the intricacies of the blackness at the time. But for me, I would say I'm going to try to do one of each. So I would say a book. Okay, I kind of have two books.
You didn't say media.
I did. I literally gave you a list of different things you could use.
No, you didn't.
Do you want to run it back? Do you want to bet?
I wish we could.
Do you want to bet?
But too bad we can't.
Do you want to bet?
There's no way.
Do you want to bet?
You said okay. name your 3 top movies.
I didn't say just that. And when you listen back to this, you're gonna feel real.
I'm not gonna feel some type of way.
Anyway, I'm saying my things now.
Jesus, we're 30 minutes in. We haven't even gotten to
I want to say Giovanni's Room by James Baldwin, but also Perfect Peace by Daniel Black. And Perfect Peace, I read that in college when I was working at Urban Bookstore at PG, and it basically is a story of this young black boy who is born as the 7th child in the Peace family, and his mother, I think they have all boys. His mother wanted a girl so bad that when he came out, he was just so beautiful, and he didn't have sometimes when babies are born, most of them look very androgynous, but he looked very pretty, so it was he could be passed for a girl, and his mother raised him as a girl. And it wasn't until let's say his, I guess, later teens, early 20s that he realized he wasn't. But it was a really great book. And now I had not read it. Came out in 2010. I have not read it since then. But in my head, it was back then, it was such a great discussion about gender fluidity and what being nurture versus nature, and how we're socialized into gender. And then movies, I want to say Moonlight Birdcage and Paris is Burning.
Paris is Burning. Yeah,
Because I mean, Paris is Burning. If you have not watched it,
that's
it
how I got
is-
introduced to the ballroom scene.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I watched Paris is Burning. I don't know. I was like, okay, it came out in what 88 or between 88 and 90.
Mm-hmm.
So we were very little, but I remember being 5 or 6 and watching it with my mom and like watching. Then of course throughout the years, and I loved ballroom. I loved drag from a very
I
little
always
girl.
wanted to go to ballroom, like
Me too, but
but I don't know where they are.
that's the thing about not growing up in New York is that a lot of the like ballroom culture I haven't had access to because I didn't like my college years weren't here, and so like now of course I have people who can like show me, but it's still like having to get into it and you have to find your ways because it's not the same way it's always been a very protected space.
Yeah, it's
Even
not
then,
like
it's still
they're not
now.
advertising it on the times
Yeah.
like we used to do with our comedy shows. You know, like
Exactly.
so it's like if you
What happened?
no nothing. It's
If you know, you know.
But yes, exactly. So I want someone, please invite me to a ball this year because I want to be there. And then I will say for TV shows, I want to do Noah's Ark on Logo.
ooh. I used to. That show was forbidden in my household.
Really?
I thought it was because no, my mom used to watch it, but she thought
It was too sexual.
it was too salacious, and so that's what made me want to watch it even more. Didn't have a lot of like outright sex stuff.
No, it just literally.
It was just gay men
yeah, that was
enjoying
it.
life and telling their stories.
Yeah. And there was this show, and I'm trying to find the name of it, but of course, it's only good bringing up freaking porn. But it was on.
What's it called?
It was on Netflix, and I want to say it was called either Cherry's Kiss or something
you
around.
Type in the word Netflix.
Can you stop micromanaging me, please?
I'm
and pay
I'm
attention?
trying to help. I'm trying to help you.
You see, I'm already doing the things. Thank you, friend. Anyway,
Is it a movie or a show?
it's a show, and it was a show on. I think it was Netflix, and it was about these women in Ireland. Was it Ireland or Scotland? And like it was like these girls who had been in a relationship. They had been best friends. They were in a relationship, and then they broke up because the other girl was like always just fucking everybody, and they broke up and they got back together. And then of course it had a super sad ending, but it was really great, and I have not been able to find it on.
Was it like a Netflix original, or it just was a movie that you saw
no, it was
on
a show. I
Netflix?
think it was a.
Oh, it was a show.
Probably like a show on like the BBC that just came on Netflix or whatever. But I haven't been able to find it in a while. So what did I say? It's a TV, music. Well, music. I will give a shout out to the I Kissed a Girl. Not I Kissed a Girl. I liked it. Oh God, what was that? That Russian group, and it was like
all the things is tattoo.
all the things. Yes, all the things she said. All the things she said, running through my head. All the things she said. Although one of those girls is like a super far right, anti-gay.
Which is strange. It's always strange when like somebody who used to be like, well,
She's delivered.
yeah,
She ain't gay no more.
yeah, I ain't gay no more.
But I'm curious. I want to know. I want y'all to tell us what are some of your favorite queer media
Yes.
across the spectrum. Let us know who your favorites are, because there's so many that we have seen that we haven't. I mean, there's also a lot of like old school, like, you know, pre-90s.
And then
80s,
there's
70s.
Dicks the Musical, which at some point we're gonna have
don't
to
even get me
do
started
like
on Dicks.
a breakdown.
That
at some
movie
point.
really pissed me off. They baited me with Megan Thee Stallion, and then they got on their fuck shit. Speaking of fuck shit, did you watch the presidential debate?
Oh Lord, that was. the thing I said earlier, something's just cringeworthy. That shit was cringe.
Well, I have a question for you.
Sure.
Can you name me some black jobs? Because I have a few that I feel like, you know.
Black jobs.
Yeah.
Hip hop and R&B radio DJ.
Mhm.
Yes. Although Peter Rosenberg. Yeah, but that's some of the outliers.
He's taking those. He's one of the people taking black jobs.
No. Black jobs.
Do you want me to start on some that I thought of?
I had one, but that feels like it could get me into a trouble.
Let me hear it. Let's see. Hear it.
Nanny to a rich white family.
Listen, that's a black job.
That is a black job.
We see all those aunties, Caribbean, African, and Black American aunties, all the time pushing these white ass babies. I want to say that
Hertz manager,
potato salad inspector.
See, I wish I had gone down the route you did. I actually did some fucking black jobs.
The person who is going to make sure we're wearing all white at somebody's function. Like the arbiter of the all white parties or any colored function, because black people like a theme.
Yeah,
we like a colored theme.
Line dance instructor at a wedding.
Exactly, and if somebody could show me how to do that to me a dance, I'd really appreciate it, because that I could do the Drew Hill jump.
Try so hard.
Once it gets to the footwork,
you've been shown so many times at this point.
Be slow. I need help.
Or maybe just this might be one of those things where you just give up.
No,
I
will not.
You don't do it.
I won't give up. I don't know what song I was trying to sing. But
I don't know either.
Either way, I'm not doing it.
Some things just cringeworthy.
Also, I would
maybe
say
that'll be the title.
Another black job.
Rule of threes. You just said two.
Let's see. The auntie to tell you that you've gotten fat.
Yeah, that is a quintessential black job. Nobody is going to make you feel worse about gaining or even losing weight at a function, because it's never one or the other. It's you so skinny. You why don't you put some more potato salad on that plate? Or you don't need that much potato salad.
I do fucking need that much potato salad. But you want to know what? I do sometimes, even though it's annoying, because black people across the diaspora do this. I wonder how much of it is for people who grew up, I know both my American side and my Nigerian side, both of them at some point grew up in some kind of whether it's Depression era or post-Depression, or when there was rationing because of the wars or whatever, or my father growing up in a literal coup and civil war. If they're oh, you're putting on weight, and just being okay, on one hand it's good because you need weight because we don't want you to be super skinny.
Also, weight was for the longest time a sign of influence and wealth.
Because they're oh, you put on weight, and they're very they're just stating it. It's when they see you oh, you have a pimple on your face, and it's okay, thank you for the information, but I do not need. I already know it. I know it's there. I'm self-conscious about it. Let's not bring it up.
Gotcha.
But I will say, give an honorable mention to the church punch maker, because that is definitely a black job. The punch that they do, the fruit punch with the little scoops of the sherbet.
Sure.
I know whoever the auntie was that started that off, she needs a raise, because I love that sherbet.
The piano player at all churches.
The gay piano player at all churches. That's the black job, specifically the organist.
Well, the organist or basically anybody who does an instrument at the church.
Yeah.
Is always into it, super duper into it.
Yeah.
Shout out to my Aunt Linda. She's the pianist at her church.
Oh,
yeah.
Of course she is.
She came out with a CD. Yeah.
She did.
Yeah.
She is literally, she's a Renaissance woman.
She is.
She does any and everything.
She does spices. She does cooking. She does.
Doesn't she sew or something?
Something like that.
She does earrings or something like that. But shout out to you, Aunt Linda. You're the GOAT.
Yeah, leaving your legacy.
But now that came up because, of course, Trump said that immigrants were stealing black jobs.
Yeah.
And I just want to know, like, what type of jobs they are. To me,
What type of it's clear what type of jobs.
Yeah, they're talking
means.
about like menial labor.
Yeah.
Like they're not talking about like being the president or being a scientist
or being an IT or engineer or some sort of STEM job. Like, no, he thinks that black jobs are like those jobs that no one else wants to do. He thinks that like, oh, foreigners are coming in and doing the black jobs.
Really, what it is.
That's what he means when he says "Make America Great Again." Make America where
people of color are subservient.
Yeah,
to
are
white
subservient, and specifically blacks are like the fucking like bus boys
you know what the
and
thing is?
drivers and the hotel elevator
the
button
what's
pushers.
it called? The bellhops.
Bellhops, yeah.
I would say that the thing is that most people don't even realize is that Trump doesn't even care about white people. He doesn't care about anybody. He cares only about the wealthy. So even when they say these black jobs, these menial labor jobs, they want that to be for people of color and poor white folks, even middle class. Like, unless you are a part of the 1%, that is all they care about. And so people keep voting for him, or they want to vote for him because they believe that he's going to somehow help them. No, he won't, because I will tell you, since when Trump came into the presidency and he did all that weird tax shit that helped people who were making like $1 million a year or more, that made my taxes worse. Mm-hmm. Even as someone who was technically making like a higher amount, it made it worse. Yeah, I've never received as high of a tax return from from any of the years I was working ever since Obama. Like, so thanks, Trump, for that.
Yeah, thanks.
But you want to know something that, like, I would say the presidential debate, we were literally flying. I think it happened when we were flying to St. Louis.
Yeah, it happened then. And that way, that night I watched some of the highlights.
And it was terrible.
on both sides.
I got terrible. When we turned the phone back on, and the tweets that were trending, it was black jobs, dementia, and like one other bullshit thing.
It really does make me think that like we need a third party system, like either that, or maybe we don't make the age like cap at like what you the only way you could be a president is if you start off at 45, right?
Think
or
that
something like that.
the cap to become president is 35. I think it should be
35.
Yeah,
so then where are all the 35-year-old presidential candidates?
I think that a lot of folks even if someone's 35, if you're like a younger person, I think people think that you're not equipped to be president. I personally feel like they need to cap it. Maybe 35 to 65 or 35 to 60, because I do feel like...
To 60.
That to me, 60. I think that somebody who's in that middle ground is going to be paying attention to the rights of the younger people who are going to be living through all the whatever bills and things that are laws that are passed. They're going to be living through it, but I also think we need to make sure that like elderly people and older folks are getting their needs met. I don't think anyone should be left out, but I do feel like
that elderly people need to be represented as well. It's just that when it comes to the person who is going to be behind the desk signing executive orders and pushing the button, like I don't want to have to worry about their faculties deteriorating.
Well, that's true.
You know?
And I mean, I think that the presidency is an extremely high stress job.
Yes,
we saw
is.
Obama came in. What was he? Was he 45, 50?
He was smooth as silk.
He
looking,
had black hair,
voice smelling like he ate fucking Cools, Newports and shit.
By the time he left, you see
he
how
was
like
salt and peppered like a motherfucker.
He was, and how just like it was completely different. So I feel like even Biden, when he came on when he and Obama started, he still looked like a young, virile man. Like, and not to say he was not older, of course.
No,
but
was
he still
older,
looked good. Like, he had energy and all that. But this presidency has deteriorated him on top of him just his age. And it's not that we should be ageist and say that older folks should not be able to be in politics. However, I do feel like we need to have a system of like, this to me would be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
We have from 35 to 60, you could be president. But there should also be like an advisory board of people of varying ages.
Sure.
From 18 to 100, whatever, like be an advisory board. Like they're not maybe making any laws, but they're there to give you give input and let you know, because you do need to make sure everybody's being taken care of.
Agreed.
Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if somebody has 40 years left on this earth, 10 years left, 5 years. They need to have their needs met, and we don't need to have folks only concentrating on like, oh, the young people or the middle-aged folks, because at the end of the day, there's always gonna be new people coming into this world. There's always gonna be teenagers. There's always gonna be people in college, middle-aged folks, and old folks. We need to all be in community together and making sure everybody's good. But I just do not want to vote for any of these people.
I really don't.
And of
I
course,
really don't.
like, it's like Trump, voting for him is worse. But even then, like Biden, it's not as if he has done anything to create a sense of like joy for me to get to. Like, he's literally a genocide monger. And the only reason he has been saying anything negative about the war, the genocide happening in Palestine, is because people are finally in mass yelling about it. But he's been aiding and abetting them for so long. Even in one thing that I feel like folks were focusing so hard on Trump saying black jobs, but nobody, at least I have not seen it on my timeline. So if you've seen it, please send me the tweets or the posts or whatever. But I saw very few people commenting on the fact that Trump called Biden. He said he's like a Palestinian, like one of the bad guys. And people, to me, have not been talking about that. And it shows how vilified and demonized Palestinians are, that he could use them as a epithet. Epithet. How do you say that word? Epithet. And not be called out for it. But at the end of the day, if Trump becomes president, it's going to be terrible. They're always talking about this Project 25, which is like the things that they want to do. And even though, like, he may not, they have this whole like manifesto of bullshit with the Project 25 and all the things that they would want to do to get us into Handmaid's Tale. Would it happen? Maybe not. But the fact that they would have it, like, that's worrisome. And I just would like to know that I could vote.
Well, they already fucked over Roe v. Wade.
I mean, everything. What is it? Chevron 60 or whatever. Where now, on just this past week, they pushed back the Supreme Court, except for the liberals who dissented. Well, 3 liberals dissented. Pushed back on basically having government oversight on shit. So that's the food you eat, the water you drink, the planes. Listen, Boeing, already terrible. And yesterday, when we were coming back, shit kept falling on me from this ranky-dank ass American Airlines flight. Shit kept falling on me. It was like water, little white flecks. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And I tweeted them, and they were like, oh, it's condensation. I literally have never had pieces of a flight or water or anything falling down on me in a plane. Get your shit together. Like, what is going on? Why am I living through this? And knowing that we already have a terrible infrastructure, and these big, huge corporations are just going to be able to do whatever the fuck they want because there's going to be no oversight.
Mm-hmm.
So, here we are.
But nothing has, I don't want to put too much stock in the presidential debate, only because, like, 1, it's the first one.
Yeah, of course.
And 2, like, we still have a long way to go before
November.
we get to November. And 3, like, I honestly, like, Jon Stewart had a good bit about it. It's like they both should be on performance enhancing drugs.
Yes, they should.
Because they're old, they're washed. Get them a B2 shot or some shit in the ass. Like get them some adrenaline or something. Like just so that they
will
can
stop their hearts. They can't.
something like. Just
But you want to know what I think is going to happen?
So that their faculties are sharp.
This is what
to
I think is
convey
gonna
that
happen.
these are the people that are gonna be the president of the. This might be the worst presidential election that we've had, because like I'm not enthused about either of them.
Anybody, no. Biden's gonna win. This is my theory. Biden will win. He's gonna die before the election, like before the inauguration, and then Kamala is gonna become president.
That's a theory.
It's a theory.
It's a theory.
I would prefer that.
Film theory. Sorry, that's a YouTube thing.
I would prefer that, than anything else. I mean, I can't really. There are other people who are running, but they never talk about them, and nor do they give them any sort of. You have to really search and find them, and you know that most people, regardless of whether you would vote for them, most people are not going to vote for them.
Right.
So,
okay. We spent a lot of time on this, so we're gonna have to rapid fire the next few things.
all right, Megan Thee Stallion.
Okay.
She has a new album.
Yes.
Can't wait for it. Or listen to it. I love it. I love the song. One of my favorites is...
My favorite is Otaku Hot Girl.
Oh, yes. That one's really good.
She spent the... Let me pull up the list.
One of my favorites is Broke His Heart. Because she says pussy a bunch of times. Another one is BAS featuring Kyle Rich. And I love the beat on that one. Of course, Accent with Glorilla. Paper Together featuring UGK, and I read that apparently this was an unreleased song.
What was? Which one?
The Paper Together featuring UGK, because isn't UGK the one that passed away? Or not Pimp C, or not? Was it who passed away in UGK?
But wait, Bun B is alive.
He's
Pimp
alive.
C is
He passed.
passed.
So what I read is that Pimp C's wife, she has the vault of his music, and she gave her an unreleased track for the Paper Together
That's
song.
nice. That's so nice, especially because she's from Texas, right?
Exactly. That's why I'm like, all these people who keep trying to like play Megan, like you don't even know. Like you're not even close to anything that she could touch. I love Figueroa, Where Them Girls At. Which I felt like it was definitely a really queer anthem. Loved that one. Honestly, I love the whole album.
It's a good album.
Shaking my ass.
It's a good album. It's a pretty good album.
And I want to say thank you for that. Now, speaking of music, this was the BET Awards today. Usher got a Lifetime Achievement Award.
Yes. Shout out to Usher. Also, shout out to Meg.
Shout out to Meg. She opened up the show. Victoria Monet did a beautiful
homage to Michael Jackson.
It was Michael Jackson. Her video for All Right, she did the homage to Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson. I also kind of felt like it was some sort of Britney Spears. She just is like a pop girly. Like she has all her shit together. Yeah. She knows what to tune into.
Childish Gambino showed up for the first time in what feels like forever.
He was like,
or ever.
Why do I have more Grammys than Will Smith, but the same amount of BET Awards as Sam Smith? Like, what else do I have to do? Which I thought was both real and funny, because I would say the BET Awards...
They weren't checking for Childish Gambino. They weren't. But the last few years, they've been like, all of the mega stars in hip hop don't come to us. They don't check.
But why don't they come to you? Because you're all
y'all are shady.
I remember
y'all be shading
when they gave Justin Timberlake an award for, I think it was Justified or whatever. But like he won over all the other black artists. So it's like, BET won. It's not run. Even though it's black entertainment, it's not run by black people. Even though like there have been black CEOs and executives and all that, it is still a Viacom show.
Yeah.
So they pick who they think is most popular for black people, but also the others who might be watching. But I did love Taraji P. Henson was the host this year. And she did it for the culture. She had and I think she opened up the show with a, what'd you call it, a parody?
Yeah, it was a
Not Like Us parody.
A Not Like Us parody.
And I feel like you will enjoy it.
Here we go.
So she came out and she's wearing the red hoodie that Kendrick Lamar wore during his pop-out show. She also looks like she looks like she had like makeup on her nose to make it look
More like Kendrick's? Really?
But she had like grills and stuff on. It was very cute. I liked it.
Yeah.
And that was fun. There was some controversy that I was looking at on Twitter that apparently she mixed up Keith Lee and this other guy, and that she was flirting with Keith Lee although he's married. But I was like, I feel like she's just being an auntie on a TV show, and she gotta do whatever she wants. There's no
was Keith Lee there?
Yeah, he was there.
Oh, good for him. Good for him.
So Lauryn Hill was there, but I could not find a full video of her performance, but she did come on at like the end of the last 30 minutes.
Well, yeah, her chakras are aligned.
And they were like, BET knew to put her at the end of the show.
Yeah,
just
she's
in
not
case she
opening
didn't show up.
or even middling or
No.
even 3/4ing anything.
No. But yeah, that was, I mean, there's a lot of pop culture things that happened, but those were like the big things. But I will also say there is one big thing in pop culture that you should pay attention to. Tomi Adeyemi, the Nigerian American author, goddess, and most beautiful person in the world, aka my bestie, has come out with the third book in the Children of Blood and Bone trilogy, The Children of Anguish and Anarchy. So please go get it. Mine is signed because I went to the book signing. If you can see it, boop. It says my name and my bestie, and it gave us these very cute bookmarks. I got the special Barnes & Noble edition. So please go get it because I'm already a few chapters in because I've been trying to pace myself because I don't want to, it's the last one and I will read books too quickly, but it has been really good. So that's exciting. Are you ready to talk about the things that made us mad and what made us happy?
Sure.
Do you want to press the...
I wasn't ready for that.
Oh, sorry.
It's fine.
Bring it.
So, yeah. Again, I don't think that we will get away with playing anything more than that, even though I pitched it up. What made me mad this week? I'm gonna have to be very quick. What made me mad this week was just bartenders at airports are shitty.
Yeah, they are.
And y'all need to learn some customer service. That lady did not fucking smile at all, and
Not
she was
once.
like, "Don't lay on the fucking thing." And I'm just like, if you like, the bar food is little. And it's expensive, and the drinks were nothing, but they were expensive. And like, if it's hospitality,
Yeah.
learn some fucking hospitality. is all I'm
Especially when
saying.
people weren't being like rude or anything.
No, she was the most rude thing that was there. What made you angry this week?
I'm angry that people at hotels continue to be the fucking worst, and I know it's a bunch of old ass white people who are complaining because we were after the wedding. We went back to our hotel. It was a beautiful hotel by the Arcs, by the St. Louis Arc, Arch. Thank you.
Yeah.
And we were literally in the hotel room at my friend's room for 10 minutes, and they wanted to tell us that we need to be quiet or they're going to evict us. Fuck you. Okay.
Yeah, fuck outta
It was
here.
not. It's a Friday night. We weren't screaming and yelling. We weren't having a fucking gangbang. We were just sitting there chatting it up with our friends after they just fucking got married. Calm the fuck down.
Yeah, agreed.
So that's it. Now, what made you happy?
I'm the baby merchant. Tops are us.
So what made me happy was the fact that the wedding was beautiful and well done, but most importantly, that they played Not Like Us.
Yes.
I loved that they did that, and I ran to the dance floor
Yep.
to dance. And it was just a lot of old aunties and uncles and grannies and
Just
grandpeople
having a great
and
time.
stuff.
Like beautiful black people. just doing
I love that. I know that this mortified you, but I love that you ran into what you thought was the mother of the groom and was like, actually, I'm the mother of the
Yeah.
bride.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh no, it was the reverse. You thought they were the mother of the bride.
Yeah.
And you were like,
I was like, she looks just like you.
She looks just like you. And it's like, actually, I'm the mother of the groom. How did you save that interaction?
Oh, I was like, well, you're beautiful, and I was like, I'm so happy for you. I'm so proud of you. You did beautiful. And she was like, thank you. They were both very gracious about it. You know? Aunties are always gracious.
Yes.
Well, I'm very happy because The Children of Blood and Bone came out, and I got to interview Tomi Adeyemi about the book, and I got to go to the book signing and meet her in person for the second time.
Did you tell her about the podcast?
I did, I think.
Okay.
But I will make sure to reiterate that to her when I email her the article.
Hopefully she likes us talking about some things just cringe and spiritual, old Negro spirituals of back that ass
Well,
up.
listen, I'll let her know. But no, she was perfect. She's so gracious. She's so humble and just like doing the damn thing. And honestly, when I say she's the bestie in my head, I'm for real. And she has brought so much beautiful representation to Nigerians, Nigerian American people, like Nigerian culture. It just has opened up such a large space for Black writers, because even that book Blood at the Root that I'm reading by Ladarian Williams, like, not to say that wouldn't have come out without Children of Blood and Bone, but you know how the industry is, and they will constantly like, that's not marketable,
some people have to,
or whatever. What happened?
It went off. Some people have to walk. I was making sure that I didn't say anything to make it play. Some people have to walk so that others behind them can crawl and run and fly.
She says, when I asked her this question about, like, I feel like she's the mother of Afrofantasy for this generation, and she was very gracious about it. She's like, I'm just, still fighting against myself, competing against myself. A very Beyonce answer. But I'm like, no, I'm just like, you have created this lane for everybody else, regardless of who came before you. Like, it is a resurgence, and we needed somebody new after that turf messed everything up with the series. And I hope that Warner Brothers buys you out so that I could actually enjoy the series without your influence.
Yeah.
But yeah, that made me happy, as well as doing this podcast with you,
Yes.
getting to travel to St. Louis with
Yes.
you,
Yes.
getting to see my friend Dana get married.
Yes.
I just feel like this has been a very beautiful time, a very beautiful summer. So I've been enjoying.
All right. Well, that's everything. We will be back again with another episode next week. Hopefully we'll be back on a more consistent basis. I know we took a break a little bit, and we're gonna work to make sure that we just have.
We had a lot of stuff going on. It was my birthday. It was like Juneteenth. It was travel. So we'll be back on a regular schedule.
Yes, we will plan accordingly to make sure that boom, 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 we get shit coming out all the fucking time. Okay?
Keep following, keep subscribing, keep sharing, keep commenting. Email us.
Yes.
We want to know your thoughts.
At
Give
the
us
Black
some
and
things.
Snerdy podcast at gmail.com.
Like, we're always ready to hear from you, and we might want to share your letter on tape, on film, or whatever we're doing. We want to hear it.
Yes, we want to hear. So with that being said, I'm Maurice.
And I'm Odie.
And we will be back next week. So take it easy, keep it sleazy.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the show. If you'd like to contact the podcast, you can reach us via email at blackandsnerdypodcast@gmail.com. You can also find us on Instagram and TikTok at Black and Snerdy Podcast, as well as on Twitter at Black and Snerdy. You can find me, Maurice, on all social media under the handle Licorish is Legit. That's LICORISH is legit.
And you can find me on Instagram. It's that's OD, THATSOD.E. And on Twitter, THATSOD_E. And don't forget to like, rate, and subscribe to us. Tune in next time to the Black and Snerdy podcast, where nerds of a feather flock together.
Remember?
Bye.
Boy.
Not yet. Not yet.
No, this is keeping it. We're keeping this in. Don't forget to take your meds and your subs and drink water. Bye.
Bye.
I actually want to keep that.